Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Reasons. This will be episode four. Four, I believe. I did. I believe this is episode four. Y'all, do I have a realization? I don't even know really what to call it today. So, today, what we're going to talk about is the first miracle that Jesus performed. Okay, we're going to talk about the first miracle. So the first miracle that he performed, if you do not know, is he turned water into wine. Okay, that was the first miracle that he performed. He was at a wedding. He was invited to the wedding. They had already, yes, they had already drunk the wine. And I'm going to confirm that they drank the wine by what the husband of the wedding, the groom of the wedding said. So they had already drunk the wine and they had ran out. And so his mother told him, Jesus, they ran out of wine. And he was like, what they got to do with me? And so his mother disregarded what he said and told the servants, do whatever he tell y'all to do. Because as a mother, regardless of how old your kids get, when you tell them something, do what I said to do. And they're going to do what you say to do. Right? Okay. So I'm going to read what happens verbatim. Okay. It is in John chapter 2, verse 1 through 12. Okay. So let me pull it up here because I was just reading it. John. Here we go. Mark, Luke, and John. Luke and John. Okay. The wedding at Cana. Okay. So it says, on the third day, there was a wedding at Cana in Galilee, and the mother of Jesus was there. Jesus also was invited to the wedding with his disciples. When the wine ran out, the mother of Jesus said to him, they have no wine. And Jesus said to her, woman, what does that have to do with me? My hour has not yet come. His mother said to the servants, do whatever he tells you. Okay. Now there were 6 stone water jars there for the Jewish rites of purification, each holding 20 or 30 gallons. Jesus said to the servants, fill the jars with water, and they filled them up to the brim. And he said to them, now draw some out and take it to the master of the feast. So they took it. When the master of the feast tasted the water, now became wine. Right? Not a second before. When he tasted it, it became wine. Okay. The master of the feast tasted it, it became wine. And he did not know where it came from, though the servants who had drawn the water knew. The master of the feast called the bridegroom and said to him, everyone serves the good wine first, and when people have drunk freely, then the poor wine. But you have kept the good wine until now. This, the first of his signs, Jesus did at Cana in Galilee, and manifested his glory. And his disciples believed in him. After this, he went down to Capernaum with his mother and his brothers and his disciples, and they stayed there for a few days. Now, let me tell y'all how I'm about to bless y'all. People will say, no, it's okay for me to drink wine because, like, you know, Jesus turned water into wine. It's just as long as I don't overindulge. But it say right there, biggest day, that they had already drunk all their wine. And who has a wedding without an open bar? I mean, I think, and now this is just strictly what I'm thinking, what I feel like God has put in my heart to tell you all. They had already drunk all the wine. So when more wine was requested, it was already an overindulgence. It was already more than what they should have been drinking. It was already more. But Jesus still obliged. Right? Now we think, okay, he just kept the party going. But what I think is that when he performed that miracle, because it says that to them it tasted like wine. It was the best wine they ever had. I feel like Jesus poured his spirit on that water. He poured his spirit on that water. That's why it was the best wine they ever had. That's why it tastes like nothing they ever had before. That's why I was like, dang, you kept the good stuff in the back. This what we should have been drinking the whole time. Because you're right. That is what they should have been drinking the whole time. They should have been so drunk with the Holy Spirit that they didn't need no wine. Right? And that's the reason why I feel like, even though they were in a sense, in a form of their addiction, Jesus still met them where they was at. He didn't say, I ain't making y'all no wine. We ain't supposed to do that. Nah, man, nah. This your temple. You don't need to drink no wine or nothing. You don't need to have that. Nah. He met them where they was at. God will meet you where you at. He'll meet you where you at. In your lowest point where you like, man, I'm in here drunk out my mind. I'm toe up, da-da-da. Yeah, I can meet you there too. And the wine that I'm offering you, because we know that the Bible is in parables. We know that everything is kind of like a analogy. The wine that Jesus is offering you is going to be the best that you've ever had. It's going to be the best that you've ever had. The best wine, the best smoke, the best food, the best drink, the best everything. It's the best because it's his spirit. And when it dawned on me, I just had to, like, I felt so relieved, because people will, mutilate the Bible to match what they want to sin with, But I could just have a glass of wine. But what does a glass of wine do to you? If we being realistic. If I go get me a little Cabernet Merlot, that one glass is not gonna do a thing. It's just cute. So why even drink it? That's like me saying, well, I'm just gonna put just like a tiny little bit of poison. It won't hurt that bad. You probably don't get sick right now, but you'll get sick eventually. So what's the reason? Well, why even have any? I'm not saying this to try to make anybody feel bad if they, do drink or anything, but I am saying this to let it be clear that anytime that Jesus performed a miracle, it was him pouring his spirit out. Anytime. That's why it was so good. It's nothing in this world, nothing that is tangible, nothing that the eye can see or the ears can hear that can compare to the Holy Spirit. It's nothing. And that's why every time it's poured out, it's so good. It was good. No other words for it, just it was good. That man said, they normally bring out the good wine first. Then serve the babe. Then serve the, They normally bring out the Don Julio first. But you came out here with Taca Baca. Then gonna come out here with the Don Julio. Because it wasn't done, y'all. It wasn't done. It was Jesus' spirit. This probably gonna be my shortest video. I had to let that out. I had to get that message out to y'all, because I wonder how many times God has sent that message to somebody and they didn't say anything. Because it's so much harder to tell somebody what they don't want to hear. It's easy for me to say, yeah, they drunk in the Bible. They did a lot of things in the Bible that we're not supposed to do. The Bible is not follow all the sins in here. No. The Bible is, I'm going to show you what the sins are so you'll know what happens. I'm going to show you what you're supposed to do so you'll know what happens. not follow the sins. That's not what the Bible, no. I love y'all. I hope y'all got something out of this. And I'm probably going to start a series on the miracles. So today, we talked about water into wine and what that actually means to me. If you have a different viewpoint of it, comment below. Let me know. Love y'all. Bye.